What is going on, everyone? Badger here. And I wanted to talk about this article from Screen Rant, which essentially is just an opinion piece. But it's all about Luke Skywalker. And even though I think this guy sort of entirely misses the mark on what the issue with Luke is, this at least gets the conversation continuing and ongoing. That, I mean, let's just see. Let's just start it. It says Star Wars needs to remember Luke Skywalker is more than just a Jedi. And I would say Star Wars needs to remember Luke Skywalker. Just that first part is enough because they have completely and by they I really mean Dave Filoni and that story group, and then Kathleen Kennedy with permission. They've completely sidelined Luke. He should be the center of almost every story, and even stories he's not in. If it's after the original trilogy, his presence should be felt. He should be the Nick Fury of everything, the guiding central pillar of all of Star Wars, because Skywalker, he is the center of the Star Wars universe once Anakin passes on and passes that central mantle of story. He is the Skywalker of the original trilogy, just like Anakin is the Skywalker. I mean, really, Anakin's the Skywalker. George will tell you that Anakin, even when he turns Darth Vader, is still the star of Star Wars. But the point is, Luke at this point is the focus point. He should be. He should have been rebuilding the Jedi Order. And even though they have him in quotation marks building the Jedi Order, you know it is doomed to fail in just under a decade, if that. As soon as he takes Ben on, let's see what he says. Let's see what he says. He thinks the real issue of how Luke Skywalker has been dealt with, and then we'll tease out the actual truth of it. He says, Star Wars seems to have forgotten that Luke Skywalker is more than a Jedi. In recent years, the timeline of Star Wars Luke Skywalker has been greatly expanded. That's one way to say it. The character's journey in the sequel trilogy was incredibly divisive, yes, though still rounded off Luke's journey throughout the sky. Yeah, it killed him. That's rounding it off, I guess. Even after this, Luke continued to find Star Wars properties to appear in when Mark Hamill reprised his role in The Mandalorian. Barely. He stood there on set when the actual filming was done with another actor, and then they CGI'd both his face and his voice. They have that speecher AI that they now use for everything, including Vader, which is why everything sounds flat and without nuance. I think they call it Skinwalker Luke because it's just that stunt guy with his face super imposed. This cameo was incredibly satisfying and was his continued appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, but it wasn't. It was all hollow, where it raised questions about where Luke Skywalker was during the Mandalorian season 3. Yeah, where he was during every huge, including knowing that Thrawn was back, and instead of going with him, instead of Ahsoka, who knows where Luke is and what he's doing, instead of saying, "Hey, it's a huge, incredibly dangerous general," no, she goes on her own. And I know I've seen the cope online of people like, no, this is all just leading up to, they're not taking Heir of the Empire story and giving it to Ahsoka. Yeah, they already did, but yes, they are. The conclusion, and in the movie, if you think it's going to star Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, or Princess, not General, Princess, she already had an authority, position of authority before giving her a generally considered male military position. It's just, again, this is that soft bigotry of low expectations where they don't see legitimacy unless it's sort of like a male authoritarian role, which is why they make them generals. In the original, by the way, I think princess and senator is a higher rank than general. In the original trilogy, George Lucas writing made it clear that Luke Skywalker's focus was centered around the ideals of family as much as it was being a Jedi. You know what? You're right, which is why his Luke Skywalker did believe in family, which is why he wouldn't have tried to kill his nephew. Well, he's not wrong though. He was a family. It's also why Luke understands the importance of relationships and let his Jedi marry. In A New Hope, Luke's journey began because he lost his only remaining family. Yes. Yeah, we know family was important, which is why it was so alienating when you had him immediately turn his back on family and try and kill his sister and his best friend's son. The Mandalorian era has forgotten Luke's family connections. Well, yeah, they've forgotten everything about Luke. They got rid of him so fast. They did it just because they see we had Luke. I had him kill robots. What do you want? And yes, seeing him at full power was great, but that was key jangling. Even though, yes, it made sense for Luke to show up, but the point is it would have made Luke should have never gone, should have stayed. Sebastian Stan right now should be playing a young Luke Skywalker in his own series, rebuilding the Jedi Order. But of course, the reason they can't do that is because they know they're going to undo it. Yeah. So this guy's main complaint is that they remember he's more than just a Jedi. I was like, bro, if you're going to do that, how about you remember that he was also the leader of Rogue One for a long time? The actual, like, X-wing fighter squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue One. Well, yeah, he was Rogue Five, but either way, he was the Rogues, which is a great game on GameCube back in the day. Talk about things right for a remaster. Yeah, the ultimate point of this, Star Wars needs to remember Luke Scott. Either go way into the future or do the OT post OT the right way. But instead, no, they're going to give all of Luke's stories to Ahsoka because those are Dave Filoni created characters, and they're going to give everything else to Rey. His entire journey of rebuilding the Jedi Order will be given to Rey. Isn't that nice? Because feminism. Suck it, boys. Suck it. Get in your place. Get in your place. This is a woman's world now, all right? Patriarchy is bad. And if you're a straight white male, oh, then you really need to not talk about anything. Oh, look. Hey, look. What's Mark Hamill? I mean, what's Luke Skywalker? White straight male, even though they're going to try and make him new non-binary, and that's why they won't let him have his own children or Mara Jade. Yep. But there's no agenda. There's no agenda. Oh boy, do you miss Luke Skywalker? I miss Luke Skywalker. Rest in peace, Luke. Dreaming of green titty milk in the netherworld of the Force. Let me know what you think of this. We'll talk to you on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've done any of those three or all three, thank you. See you on the next one.